Hey everybody, it's Steve Alexander, Dr. A, and it is Tuesday, March 5th. That is Ken Kreitz, the K-Train.
All aboard.
And we're going to cover everything you need to know in Fantasy Hoops. The Nets are off to a 5-game week. Some interesting things there last night, some interesting games on Monday night. We're going to cover it all.
The only five-game team. The only 5-game team, I think.
All year?
This week.
Oh, this week for sure. Yeah. So let's do this. Ken, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you, Doctor. Sorry I butchered the open there. That was terrible.
You didn't really butcher it. I mean, Kamla's favorite thing about our Thursday show is my cold opens because they're so bad and unscripted, and I just sort of start talking without knowing where I'm going.
I find them esoteric. I find them they're minded opening.
Yeah. So, interesting things going on right now in the NBA, and I know a lot of times this season we've been like, man, the guys are playing through injuries, and injuries aren't as bad as they have been. But right now it doesn't really feel that way. And especially, the 30 deep league that I'm in, I'm playing against Andre Snellings of ESPN,
Right,
my coworker.
Sure. Former RotoWire scribe, yes.
And he's got Giannis sitting out last night. I have Wemby, who's iffy for tonight, and I'm terrified. And then there's a bunch of other guys that we just don't know about. Your guy, Cam Thomas, has missed several games with sprained ankle all of last week. Who knows when he's going to play this week?
Trae Young out for the year. Westbrook probably done for the regular season. Scotty Barnes.
We got Jaren Jackson Jr. Missing the last 3, I think. We got DeAndre Ayton, who we haven't seen. I haven't seen him since I've seen Ben Simmons. So that's not good.
You never, ever want to be compared to Ben Simmons in any capacity.
No, you don't. Are these guys shutting down? Are we in the midst of witnessing the Jaren Jackson and the DeAndre Ayton shutdown? Or are they just hurt?
We've been waiting for the Jaren Jackson shutdown. And frankly, I've admired Memphis for playing him as long as they did. Similarly, are they going to bring back Desmond Bane to prove he's healthy or not? I mean, they're not playing for anything. But yeah, it's scary and probably too late to trade JJJ. So we've been saying for weeks on Friday, don't know why Memphis would keep pushing JJJ on a lost season. Ayton, though, I mean, Portland's got to figure out, do they want to keep spending big on Ayton or not? So I'm kind of surprised they're not forcing him back. Or I don't know. They don't have a reason to treat him with kid gloves, right?
No, I mean, he's got a max contract, so it doesn't really matter. At this point, I feel like Portland would rather just watch the kids play and figure out what they've got, and Reith and some of these other guys. Portland's roster and Memphis roster, there are guys on there that some of us have never heard of. Like,
why are the Trailblazers not pushing Moses Brown back? I need more Moses Brown minutes.
We are deep into the G League core of those teams. And we're seeing it every night. I think Luke Kennard had his best game of the year for the Grizzlies last night.
Yeah, Reith was on fire for the Trailblazers the other night. Yeah.
Reith's been playing well for Portland. Vince Williams is playing pretty well for Memphis. Gigi Jackson is making noise every now and then. Dude, we'll get to that when we get to the get off my lawn segment. But I'm really kind of mad at. I don't know if I'm mad at Memphis or FanDuel or myself. I'm mad at one of them. So is Jaren Jackson Jr. going to play again? What's your thoughts?
I think he plays a handful of games, but if he plays more than 3 or 4, I'd be shocked.
Sort of where I am.
Yeah,
I think I don't think this is the end, but I think the end is nigh. It is coming.
Yeah. I think the more interesting or totally up in the air is the Wemby situation. He's showing up. I thought he'd be on injury reports all season. I thought they'd kid gloves him. Is he at the 65 games already yet? He's got to be darn close to be rookie of the year.
I think he's missed
He's at
6
55.
games.
Yeah, he's at 55. So I'm sure we're going to see 10 more Wembyama games. They're not going to blow his rookie of the year. But, boy, is he going to play in the fantasy playoffs is a legit concern.
But annoying people like you and Rick Kamla have been saying that since day one of the NBA season.
And I've been wrong.
Oh, he's
absolutely right.
He's not playing. He's going to miss 2 games a week. Blah, 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 blah. And, he has carried all of my teams.
He really has. He's been he's a fantasy MVP if he's on your squad for sure.
To championship contention in every league.
You know what I love? I love the percentages for the rookie. 82% from the free throw line, 47 from the field when he's not getting any help around him. Love the percentages and the games played.
Just everything about it is just stupid. Right. I love the consistency. He gets 28 minutes a game, and he does the same thing every game.
Yeah. I'm trying to see the game log. He hasn't had a single-digit scoring game since December 21st. He played 22 minutes. He had a 7-5-5 game, December 21st. Otherwise, he's been frankly above or near 20 every week since.
He's scored at least 21 points in 7 of his last 9 games.
Yeah.
He's blocked at least 3 shots in 8 straight, which includes a 10-block game.
Yep.
Along with 6 of those games, he had at least 5 blocks.
Last 8 games, he's averaging 5.4 blocks a game. Delicious.
He's scored in double figures in every game since December 26th. He scored at least 15 points in 30 straight games. He's doubled in 6 straight. He has at least 1 steal in 8 straight, including 2 games with 5 steals. He's had at least 5 assists in 3 straight games and in 6 of his last 8 games. He's hit at least 1 3-pointer in 12 straight games.
So Wemby is good.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And I wrote all that. I wrote all that for the weekend recap column for RotoWire.
I was going to say that was pretty good. The top of your head there.
I had that all queued up.
Those gems, but those back-to-back 5 steal, 5 block games, February 22nd, 23rd, delicious. My goodness. Let's get into some other injuries. Devin Booker out 7 to 10 days. This Sun squad have not played together. I don't know how they just turn it on for the playoffs. When their quote unquote big 3 have played together so few games.
Yeah, and it's Royce O'Neal time, right?
Royce O'Neal time, exactly. He's one of our free agent picks on Friday's show.
Yeah, I had him in my lineup last week. He was great.
Yeah. Is Trey Young coming back this season, Mr. Atlanta?
I don't think so.
They might have something. They're going to be desperate for the play-in. They're only 2.5 up on Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a mess.
Yeah, but by the time this is all said and done, Brooklyn should be in front of Atlanta. I don't know that Atlanta can keep winning without Trey, but
you know what? Brooklyn should be ahead of Atlanta, and yet they lose at home to Memphis last night. That is unforgivable.
Unforgivable. Really bad.
Wretched. All right, Westbrook done for regular season. They're saying hope he's back for the playoffs. Scotty Barnes out for the season. That is just such a bummer. He was 10th in total stats value in 9 category leagues. He was winning some championships. And
he break his hand on Friday or something?
Yeah, he's not coming back there. And obviously Raptors, they're only 3.5 games from the play-in, but they're not playing for anything. Did sign Kelly Olynyk to 2-year extension. You can breathe a sigh of relief, doctor.
Well, if Pirtle, Olynyk could be sneaky for the end of the season.
He could. I mean, Barnes is out. There are definitely minutes in that back and front court. I have Olynyk in a few leagues. He is a crafty sneak, and they're committed to him. Yeah, absolutely.
He's crafty, and then he's also crappy.
But Chu is in New York, though, right? There are minutes in that backcourt. He will hit you some threes. He will get you stocks. He's never going to light it up for 20 points. But
there are days that Olynyk will help you, and there are days that Olynyk will make you want to stab your eyeball with a pencil.
When he was drafted by the Celtics, they were briefly selling Olynyk the Clinic flip-flops, and I always regret that I didn't buy those.
Yeah.
And they spelled the Clinic with all Y's, like the Olynyk name. But I don't know.
I don't think we're gonna see Trae Young play in a regular season game again this season.
Why didn't they move Murray? Were the offers that terrible?
I just don't think the offers were there. And now it sounds like they're more open to moving Trey than they are Murray.
If they were playing well or better recently, that would sound great. But Murray's not exactly grabbing the leadership role with Young out so far, is he?
They're unwatchable. They're unwatchable. The Hawks are, and they get the Knicks tonight in New York. That's not going to be good.
Only 3.5 under. You're taking, so that yours. Are we jumping ahead to your bet? Is that you're taking Knicks 3.5?
No, I was going to talk about the Bulls last night for a second.
Okay. Yeah, please. I was
going to talk about how much I love Coby White. What a
Coby.
What a great man he is. I was also going to
shot the lights out last night. I mean, what did he shoot? Did he miss a shot? 14 of 19.
He didn't even score in the first. He didn't even score in the first quarter. And he had a career high 39.
Talk about teams that really should be chastised for doing nothing at the trade deadline. How do the Bulls not move Andre Drummond? How do they not, people like Caruso's contract. How do you not match Caruso to some contracts you want off the books and admit you're going into rebuild mode? That Bulls team is going absolutely nowhere. It is fun that they shocked the Kings in Sacramento, but the Kings have their own problems. But Coby White, they should just give him all the minutes he can. He's one of the few people that, few players with a future there, right?
Yeah, he had 37 points, career high 37 on 19 shots.
7 dimes, too. He wasn't just hogging the ball.
No, and he was playing hard. And, I've got him on that 30-team league along with De'Aaron Fox. And those two, I need those two and Wemby to carry that team. And we can win it all if they keep playing well. So,
and you continue.
God bless Coby White.
Yeah.
And Coby went into a little bit of a slump last week. That was difficult, but he's back.
You just love the hair. It's really about the hair for you, isn't it, with Coby White?
Well, it's usually about the hair with most NBA players. with Bobby Portis, it's all about the eyes.
Crazy eyes.
Who was the point guard for the who was the dude for the Magic that had the crazy hair? The point guard?
Oh, it flopped in front of his face. Yes.
Yeah.
Lottery pick, too. Oh, it drives me crazy because I'm like, he was shooting 39% from the field and he had that hair in his eyes. Am I the only one that sees how bad a shooter he is? I cannot remember. That's going to kill. I'll think of it at 2 a.m.
How do we not know what his name is?
I know exactly who you're speaking of. He had the floppy hair. Right. You look that up. We'll move on to the panic meter.
I know his name. Damn it.
You know it.
Go ahead.
I'll know it when you say it. I'm sorry, but I'll go panic meter if you want to look it up. I want to beat up the Nets more for losing to Memphis at home. That is just inexcusable. When you got Vince Williams leading the way for Memphis, how do you lose to a team where Vince Williams is their best player, unless you want to say Santi? I mean, they had Jemison at center, banged up Conchar playing 31 minutes. Luke Kennard is your star shooting guard for this Grizzlies lineup. Lamar Stevens getting 24 minutes.
Santi Aldama out there just dominating.
Brooklyn just clearly, I don't think the head coach was the problem in Brooklyn. It's a deeper issue.
Yeah, what is going on? Elfrid Payton, by the way.
Elfrid Payton, yes. Remember, and he kind of tore. It was like a front ponytail. He kind of tied it into a bob, but it would literally get in front of his face. Yeah, Alfred Payton. Lottery pick, too. He was a lottery pick, wasn't he?
I think so.
Desperately needed a point guard.
Yeah, Brooklyn beat the Hawks in back-to-back games at least.
I had Schroeder as my pick to click last night over on 14.5 points, and he took 13 shots. He missed 2 of 3 free throws. Anyway, he shot 5 of 13, hit the under, broke my 7-game bet streak.
Schroeder's automatic right now. Like, he's playing well.
37 minutes. I mean, Cam's out.
Cam Johnson played very well last night.
Finally. How many teams dropped Cam Johnson this fantasy season? But Johnson's finally turned it a little too late. Is it maybe that Cam can't play when the games are meaningful?
Maybe. But I think hopefully a lot of people picked Cam up and Schroeder and everybody else who plays for them this week because of the 5 games.
Yeah, exactly.
And no Cam Thomas.
Yeah. I played Cam in some leagues, even though I knew he wasn't going to play last night because he had 5. I'd rather take his 4 games, hopefully, than some other guys 3. You've got Brunson listed on your panic meter. Not his game time decision for tonight. That ankle injury looked worrisome.
Before we go there, also Dorian Finney-Smith, I think,
yes, DFS
is worth having for the rest of this week for 4 games. Jalen Brunson, yes, he's scaring me to death. I'm in a battle. I got beat by my buddy Brian from Guster last week, 5-4. In a battle with Yuri, who's also hosted this show with me, and I need Brunson to play. So I'm nervous about the week.
Yeah. Now, maybe they're eyeing Atlanta and think we can take Atlanta without the Knicks. Or, I'm sorry, without Brunson. But the Knicks, I mean, they are a game and a half out of falling into the play-in. They're lucky Embiid's out for the Sixers. I don't know if anyone believes in the Magic, but a little bit of panic meter. They've 3-7 over their last 10. So on the one hand, you could see them forcing Brunson back early.
I mean, it is Tom Thibodeau,
right?
And he'd be like, "Oh, you can't walk? We'll just put some dirt on it and get out there."
How worried are we about Giannis's Achilles? The word Achilles always freaks me out. He was stretching and then decided not to play last night. And they still won, by the way.
It is a word that will freak people out. It freaks me out. I don't think Giannis is in serious danger right now, but I'm always a little worried about his knee. It just seems like he's always a little gimpy. But I think Giannis just took a night off.
Yeah. It's exhausting carrying a team. That's hard work.
It really is.
Any other panic, guys, before we get on to hot players or folks you're excited about?
Well, I don't think we really finished on Wemby. We got into his greatness, but on Wembanyama, are you now to the point where, he's got a sore left shoulder, he's questionable for tonight. Are you thinking they're going to stop him right at 65 games and be done with it?
Well, I mean, if you're a Wembanyama manager, what are your options, right? I mean, you got to play him. So, yeah, I can be worried about it, but like on your Wemby teams, you got a good backup center you're going to play instead, even if he plays one less game?
No.
Right. So
if Wemby plays one game, I'm playing Wemby.
Right. You might get 5 blocks and 5 steals.
And and
10, 20 and 11. Yeah. And, okay, I'll take 1 week. I think he's definitely going to play 65. He's at 55 now. They're going to get him Rookie of the Year honors. Who knows about this shoulder? But back-to-backs, maybe not. I don't know. It's too late. No one's trading There's no trade deadlines. We're past all the trade deadlines. So
hopefully there's not too many back-to-backs in San Antonio's schedule. But I haven't really looked at it. I'm scared to look at it, honestly. I'm just setting my 30 deep lineup 1 week at a time and rolling with it, hoping for a miracle. But
Donovan Mitchell,
3 games.
3 more games. Yeah, after he's already missed 2. Boy, and it's knee. That is scary. They're giving him plasma injections. That's never a good sign. And Cleveland is sitting pretty.
And it's Ike Okoro and Sam Merrill, right? Like those are the guys.
Yeah, well, Ike Okoro can't shoot to save his life. I'd rather go Merrill on the crazy upside that he drains 6 threes. But Cleveland has, they're 5 games out of the play-in. Rest Mitchell. You don't go anywhere in the playoffs without Mitchell, so he's going to get a ton of rest, unfortunately.
Going back to the Knicks for a second, what a crazy year they've had to survive losing Julius Randle and trading for OG, and then he immediately goes down. And they have Quickly and RJ.
Well, he didn't immediately go down because he looked great for them for about 5 or 6 games, right?
Well,
what a perfect trade. And then he gets hurt. Yeah.
It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then Hart.
Smart of them to get Achua in that, in that deal, because they were thin in the backcourt. Now they're throwing a gazillion minutes at him.
That was
deep
clutch.
Leagues. Precious Achua is a fine pickup in a deep league.
Yeah, and they've had Hartenstein out for a while, and now they got Brunson banged up, but yet they're still putting a good product on the floor every night, and people are digging it. So
right. Here's my only qualm with the Knicks is how everyone was like, "Oh, the Knicks won the trade deadline because they got Bogdanovich and Burks." Oh yeah, those guys were lighting it up for Detroit. They were really carrying those guys. Let's get all excited about these awesome former Pistons. Didn't the Knicks pay to get rid of Burks to Detroit a couple of years ago? I mean, look, there were fine trades. They gave up nothing, but like the classic New York overhype. Oh, the Knicks are amazing. They're going to win the finals. They just got Bogdanovich and Burks. Please spare me, New York media. Spare me.
Well, I thought the guy on your panic meter here, Daniel Gafford, was one of the keys to the trade deadline. I thought Gafford and PJ Washington going to play with Luka was going to be huge, but they're not really using Gafford like I thought they would.
Well, they're torn, right? They want to give Lively a bunch of minutes, develop him. And Gafford, man, he's had some total duds for them. And he had some sweet games even coming off the bench. I don't know if it's I don't know what the problem was with Gafford. Is he never going to be a quality 65 game guy a year? I mean, he's been a fantasy darling forever. I don't understand. You'd think he'd be ecstatic to be on a winning team, get out of Washington. But the last few duds he had for the Mavs are so frustrating.
But they're not playing. They're playing Lively.
Yeah, but he had a few good bench games though for them with Lively starting, and then he just fell apart. I don't know. We'll see.
And when he's out there in reality, I mean, he's still protecting the rim and getting rebounds and playing defense, but he's not putting up numbers. And
no, he's not. So he's unfortunate. I had him as a starting center on a lot of squads, and I'm putting Andre Drummond, who also was a dud last night, even though they won. But Drummond's all matchup heavy, whether they're playing a big team or not.
You know how when you look at a team and their schedule and it shows the leader in points, rebounds, and assists?
Yeah.
Off to the side. It's all Doncic. It's all Luka.
Right.
Every game, every time. You would never know there was anybody else on that team. Doncic's 41, right. Doncic's 33, Doncic's 45, Doncic's 30, 37, 30, 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 7, 12.
That's why guessing on the others like Derek Jones and Josh Green is so darn frustrating, right? Because there is no consistent other on that darn team. Let's get happy, though. Who are guys you're excited about, Steve? You already mentioned one.
Well, I was very excited about Keyonte George last night, and he played 6 minutes, and the illness took over, and he didn't play the rest of the night. So I had a really rough night in FanDuel, and also Keyonte George and Jalen Brunson are on that Yahoo team. So I need Jalen to play tonight, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But, Dorian Finney-Smith, I've been kind of excited about with his 5-game week this week. Keyonte George, I feel like is going to blow up the rest of the way for Utah. Your guy, Dennis Schroeder, probably going to go off the rest of the way because Ben Simmons. And
Another scary injury. Talking about Utah, Kessler out again with a foot. They're playing Collins at center. He got 6 blocks last night. Digging the John Collins minutes at center. But boy, has Kessler been frustrating all year. I traded him on a few teams. I was a big fan in the preseason, and I got out about the All-Star break on the shares I had.
I would say he's probably the biggest bust in fantasy this year.
In fantasy, I thought you were going to say it's center, but wow, in fantasy, okay.
I mean,
yeah,
he was like 3rd round value last year, right? Everybody was fired up about him coming in this year, and they're playing him like 17 minutes a night, some stretches, and he's not really a part of the offense. All he does is block shots. I don't understand what they're doing with him.
And he's one of many bigs that can't hit free throws, which is frustrating too. All right, but on the pot, you want to talk about Miles McBride?
Well, Miles McBride's going to be the guy if Brunson misses time. So
yeah.
If Brunson is out this week and you picked up Miles McBride, I think you're going to win. And if Brunson plays all week, Miles McBride can be tossed back into the ocean for whatever you can find.
One player that's passing the eyeball test for me, I think he's finally healthy, is Trey Murphy in New Orleans. 3 straight really good games. I was nagging Alex, our editor, to improve his rest of season projection on RotoWire. I will say Alex came back to me with a bunch of reasons why he doesn't think that should be. But I think Murphy's finally healthy off of that knee injury. They have no scoring off the bench in New Orleans. I think Trey Murphy is on the upswing. He's rostered in about 2/3 of teams, so it's not like he's widely available. But in daily stuff, I like Trey Murphy rest of the season.
He's got a lot of confidence right now, too. I like the things he's saying. I like the way he looks on the court. My son was like, man, Trey Murphy's been going off lately. And he has. And that New Orleans team is kind of sneaky, isn't it?
It really is. It's something you always wonder, like, why aren't they doing better? Then McCollum gets hurt or Ingram gets dinged up. But if we go back to the standings, Pelicans, they're out of the plan. They're only a game and a half out of the plan, but they are 5th right now. And with a banged up Suns team, they could be looking at avoiding the plan and doing some damage. We'll see. I'd like to see them on a big stage for once.
Yeah, Herb Jones has had some really, really great games, and Brandon Ingram has actually stayed healthy this season.
Herb Jones is that guy you hate when you're facing him, but you'd love to have him on your team. A grinder. He should be on Memphis.
Yeah, he's like Pat Bev. He's like a nice Pat Bev.
Yeah, right.
A kinder, gentler Pat Bev.
All right, well, the Stadler and Waldorf of RotoWire podcasts. It's time for the Get Off Our Lawn segment. Stadler and Waldorf, of course, being the 2 balcony Muppets, the old guys in the balcony complaining. Steve, what is your complaint this week?
I was kind of slacking on watching the news yesterday before I set my lineups, and
didn't check the RotoWire daily lineups page. Did not check the daily.
I did not check the daily page like I should have. And FanDuel told me that Jordan Goodwin was good to go and he was going to have like 29 points. I looked at his game log. He's been balling out. He's like 31, 30 or something. And I'm like, well, I'm playing Jordan Goodwin tonight. I threw him in there. Checked. I kept checking FanDuel. Like
they're burying Scottie Pippen in some weird 2-way contract thing, even though they desperately need his minutes. Yeah, Goodwin's been the guy at point.
I kept checking it, checking to make sure his name didn't turn yellow or red before lineups locked. He was good. Then I get in there. It's like, he's not playing. And then I look at the RotoWire news feed, and it's like Jordan Goodwin is not active for the Grizzlies tonight after starting the last 3 games.
And here's what's weird. We almost never write this. We just have him as inactive. We didn't have a reason. There was no public reason. He's just inactive.
And I don't get it.
I don't get it. Yeah.
I don't get it. So I had a 0.
It might be another, the same thing they got with Pippen. It might be another 2-way contract, juggling game counts. That they're doing that to Pippen, but just no reason listed, just inactive.
But they didn't send him to the G League. Like he was inactive.
But if you don't I thought it only counts if you actually see the court, your game count. If you're just sitting
I don't
on
know.
the bench. Anywho, you were right to play him. I mean, 30 plus minutes each of the last 3 games, 8 assists in 2 of those contests. Let's see, his FanDuel points were 31, 31 and a half, and 30 and a half the last 3 games. You were onto something.
Well, and another guy in our league had him, and I'm guessing a lot of people on FanDuel probably had him in their lineup last night. So that was a little frustrating.
Check the RotoWire daily lineups page before locking in your lineups. It is the most popular page on RotoWire.com.
Well, I will be doing that this evening.
For my Get Off Our Lawn segment, I'm just going to promote the old man rant I did on Friday. They got posted today on the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball. I dared to question if Coby really needs 3 statues, Doc.
Oh,
Jordan has 1. Bill Russell has 1. Does Coby really need 3? Classic LA, over dramatic. Wah, wah, wah. 1 statue's fine.
wow!
Bring on the Coby worshipers. They're all gonna kill me. It's fine.
Yeah, you might want to. Yeah, Dominique only has 1 statue. Also,
right. That's pretty good. So
yeah,
1 statue's fine.
Huh? Yeah, Coby's sensitive, man. I don't like talking about Coby. like Michael Scott in the dinner party episode when Jan tells a story about how he runs through the glass chasing the ice cream truck, and he's like, I don't like that story, babe.
By the way, shout out to Victor Vasquez, who called Alfred Payton right away in the fan notes. We probably should answer some questions, but Victor had Alfred Payton right away, and we missed it because you and I were looking at our notes and stuff. And that, do we want to do fan questions, or should we do our bets for tonight first?
Let's do bets, and we don't have any ads to read today, so we got time.
I'll start because I picked mine early this morning. You were wise to wait for lineups and stuff, but I've got the over on Josh Hart for 26.5 points plus rebounds versus your Atlanta Hawks, Steve. Again, Brunson questionable for tonight. Clearly, they'll need scoring elsewhere if there's no Brunson. Last 6 games, though, for Josh Hart. 16.5 points, 12.5 rebounds. That's 29 total. And maybe more importantly, classic Thibodeau, he's played 40 or more minutes in each of those last 6 games. The Knicks, again, 3 of 7 in their last 10. They're a bit of a panic mode. So I think Josh Hart will once again get crazy minutes and will hit the over on 26.5 points plus rebounds. Doc, what is your bet for tonight, sir?
Well, I like what you did there because I was at the Atlanta Hawks game when Luka Doncic scored 74 points against them, I think.
Yeah.
No defense. The Hawks have been giving it up all year. The only thing I worry about is Hart's a better rebounder than he is a scorer, but you got rebounds in there. So you should be good to go with that.
Hart does have the occasional terrible shot. You're absolutely sure about that. I thought you liked you had some win-loss picks you wanted to make, right?
Well, I'm going with Luka Doncic against the Pacers tonight.
Okay.
All the Luka, because the Pacers
could be 100. You could see a Wilt Chamberlain-like night tonight.
The only team that plays worse defense than Atlanta is the Pacers. And Luka's going to be fired up to go out there and just run all over them. Hopefully he plays. He's kind of iffy.
He is a game time decision. They've been doing that a lot, right? Where they call
he's always a game time.
Yeah.
Where is that game? That's kind of
in Dallas.
So it's at home. So he's not like trying to make sure he plays the one time he's in Indiana. Yeah, they've already been to Indiana. So that makes me a little nervous. But 53.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Give me all the Luka.
You're literally placing your bet right now. You're putting that.
I just locked it in.
Yeah. Fabulous. All right. I put my heart bet in before the call. All right. That's nice. Well, shall we go to fan questions, sir? I'll pick a few. I think we kind of covered this early. Doc, is it time to panic on JJJ and Hartenstein? Short answer for me, yes.
And Hartenstein's hurt again, right?
Well, I was going to say, I think they
I
haven't
haven't been
officially.
paying attention to him.
He's played the last 2 games. He has no injury designation. Now he's only played the bigger problem last 5. He's only averaged 21 minutes with only 5 points and 6 boards, 1 stock over the last 5 games. So he's
Is that because they love Precious Achua that much?
they don't love him that much. They don't have enough. I don't know. They don't. The bigger problem has been an Achilles issue. There's that word again, and so I think they've been nursing him. But I think Hartenstein is certainly droppable. You can't just outright cut JJJ. He's just too good when he plays. But it is getting a little scary.
It is panic time. I think the only thing we can hope with Triple J is that when he gets shut down, they tell us that they're actually shutting him down,
Right.
which they probably won't do that.
Right.
Because they probably could have done that 3 games ago, and we would be good right now. But he's still listed as day-to-day. I mean, you just have to – I mean, I've been telling people to trade Triple J for 2-3 months. So there's nothing you can really do about it at this point other than hang in there and hope his Achilles works better than my voice does. Or no, he's got a hip or something or an elbow. No, he's got
Hartenstein's Achilles.
Hartenstein's Achilles. But what about
JJJ? Oh, yeah, sorry.
He's got something else. Like his is a hip or something, isn't it?
His is a terrible losing season. Quad.
So yeah, I always predicted it was going to be a sore back.
Yeah. They can't say losing record. That sounds terrible. All right, let's move on. Paul has a trade he wants us to do. He's offered Cunningham and DiVincenzo, or he's been offered Cunningham and DiVincenzo for his Simons and Coby White. Ant had a very nice game against the Timberwolves last night. I mean, if Brunson has any kind of extended issue, you really want DiVincenzo.
Are we worried about Cunningham finishing out the season for the Pistons?
No, I think after last year's injuries, they want to play him as much as possible. But he says he's punting field goal and turnovers, but I feel like these guys are all field goal risks. I don't know who,
I think I like the Simons Coby side of this a little better.
Yeah, Simons is a lock to play the rest of the season if he's healthy. Coby White should be getting insane minutes.
Cunningham's counting stats are fine, but his overall fantasy value ranking is always weird. It's always low.
Percentage, the TOs. He says it's 9 category. Yeah. I don't like the term.
No, he's punting percentage in TOs, so I guess that works.
right.
But you're trading 4 guys who shoot the ball, 4 guys who kind of do the same thing. I mean, I don't really know.
Right.
I really don't know what the point of this trade is.
It seems like, you'd be throwing in a big and a point guard. Yeah, I don't get it either. All right, let's move on. Thoughts on the Max Strus injury? Is he a hold or should I drop him for Reith?
Fighting to stay in the playoff race.
Trying to guess.
Trying to
going to be Ayton versus Reith. Yeah.
We're trying to desperately find out more about this Max Strus injury. Somehow that
he
fell off the radar.
He hasn't missed a game in the last. They say he's dealing with a knee strain, and he is out for tonight's game against the Celtics. He had played 20-plus straight games, so this is certainly a new situation. It's the first of a back-to-back. This could just be a maintenance issue. I think I hold on to Strus. Reith trying to I wish I could tell you when they're going to force Ayton to play again or stick with Reith. Reith has no value if Ayton's playing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can drop Strus and pick up a net that still has 4 games left this week, I don't think that's a bad idea.
There you go.
I mean, Max Strus is nice, but if there's other guys on your waiver wire that do the same stuff, I'd rather have a healthy one than Max Strus.
Amen. All right, let's see. I think that's it for questions. Wait, here we go. One more. Is Drummond a drop in a 12-team head-to-head? Look, here's the thing with Drummond. It all depends who they're playing. If they're playing a big squad, he gets monster minutes and monster stats. When he's playing a team that goes small, he doesn't see the court. It all depends on your other options. Do you have any more thoughts on Drummond, Doc?
I feel like every time I think about playing Drummond and don't, he goes bananas. And if I do something with him, he does nothing.
If the other team has a legit center and a legit power forward, by legit, I mean 6'9" plus with skills, then he's playing and getting stats. But when they're going small, like last night's game, he did nothing, absolutely nothing. I forget who they beat, the Clippers. Clippers don't have a real power forward, so they don't play him. But
what was the game a couple games ago where he just went absolutely nuts, and it was
a 26 rebound game? Yeah.
Who was that against? Because they started, I think it was the Bulls. Or no, he is the Bulls.
He's the Bulls. Yeah, no. I'm trying to remember that game. Give me a second. Yeah, it was a team that had a real center and a real power
and played a big power forward.
And they moved Vooch to power forward, which I kind of like, frankly. But it
was Orlando.
No. It was Cleveland. No, it was Cleveland. Mobley and Allen. Two legit bigs, so they went big, and Drummond put up 17 points and 26 boards. But when they won at Sacramento doesn't have a legit power forward, so they went small to match it. I don't know who they play next, but just check the Bulls' schedule. It's as easy as legit bigs or not. Yeah.
We got Utah on Wednesday.
Hendricks, Collins at center. If Kessler, they're going Kessler, Markkanen, Collins, but they're not playing him yet. So he's going to have.
It's Johnny Collins, and then it's Golden State.
He'll be on the pine for that too. They don't have a legit.
And then it's the Clippers.
So he's on the pine. So his next three, he's not going to get big minutes.
Now Monday, March 11th against Dallas. Might get some there. They've got enough big guys that he might play against them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
All right. Well, I think that might be it for today's show, sir. Should we do one last question? Let's do one last question. One last question. Oh, and then wait, we didn't even mention you've got a fabulous brush with greatness we're entering with.
All right. Yeah, let's do a question, and then we'll hit the Manute Bol story.
Manute.
I'm punting field goals. The other team is punting free throws. I give up Giannis, Şengün, and Franz Wagner. Getting KD, Harden, and Bam out of bio. Dude, this makes my head hurt. Just looking at it.
I need a spreadsheet. It's really hard on the fly to evaluate a 6-team trade. Giannis, you know what? If Giannis Achilles is if they're trying to balance his minutes in games, this might make sense. It's not like KD's been a Cal Ripken this season, but.
No, but KD, Harden, and Adebayo are playing every day. We don't know about Giannis. But, yeah, that's a lot, man. I mean, that's a big trade. I would need like an hour to fully discuss that.
My tendency is to take the Harden KD side of this just because I'm worried about Giannis's Achilles.
And I like that. I mean, I know those guys are going to play every night, like KD, Harden, Adebayo. So I'm probably with you on that one. Okay, so Ken wants to hear my Manute Bol story. So in like 1980 something, very early, my brother and I were down at the hotel in Indianapolis ahead of the Washington Bullets game, and Manute Bol came waltzing through the lobby of the hotel. My brother had his camera with him. And I said, Manute, can I get my picture taken with you? Because he's so tall. And I was not very tall at the time. As Ken said, when he saw the picture, he's like, oh my God, is this really you? You look so young.
It did.
And Manute waved me off and said, no pictures. I don't like cameras. And in my mind, he said something like, it'll steal part of my soul or something, but I don't think he said
I don't know what the Sudanese culture is for photos. I don't know.
But
What
there's stuff out there about like flash
Yeah.
bulbs and cameras, and he did not want his picture taken. So I'm standing there next to him. My brother's like out in front of us, and I'm over there going,
take it.
and my brother's like, and a flash goes off. And Ken also said when he saw the picture, boy, Manute doesn't look very happy in that picture. And Manute was not happy. In fact, he was so unhappy that he took off running after my brother to get his camera. My brother
Did he really?
My brother ran up the escalator stairs. He's like running, and Manute's behind him, going up the escalator after him. And I'm just like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here. And I slip out the back door. And we reunited later. And of course, had to wait like a week to find out if the picture came out. That's what you did back then.
Actual cameras with actual film back then. Yes,
had to take it to the photo mat and see how things turned out. And I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorites. It's right up there with the Dion picture.
I think you got to frame the picture of you and Manute, even though it's a little dark. It's not as well lit.
I can't find the original, so all I have is like pictures of the picture.
Yeah, is that what you sent me? A picture of the picture? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where the actual photo is.
You don't have the negatives? Remember they used to give you negatives when you got the film developed?
I was never organized enough to keep track of my negatives.
Did Manute catch your brother?
No.
He never did.
He got away. He's a
How
shifty,
fast was Manute
redheaded
running?
kid.
Was he like really? What does he do if he catches your brother? He's going to smash the camera?
I think he was going to take the camera.
Wow.
Take the film. Or just tell him that was not cool. Why did you take my picture? I told you not to.
Oh, I didn't understand you, Mr. Bol. I'm sorry. You look good in this photo, though. You look pretty happy.
Oh, dude, I was having the time of my life. Hanging out with Manute seconds before my brother took his picture. Just a good old time.
That is a fabulous story to end with. I'm gonna plug the free trial, and then you give us the outro, Doc. Fans, remember, go to rotowire.com/pod, or you can also go to rotowire.com/try, whichever is easier for you to remember, for an absolutely free, no credit card needed trial of all things RotoWire, the entire sport, all the sports, all the content, all the DFS, all the season long, all the betting advice you could possibly want. Go to rotowire.com/pod or rotowire.com/try.
Yeah, and it's just in time for baseball season. We're finally to that point where this vacant black hole of no sports at times is almost over. We got the Masters coming. We got March Madness. We got baseball. We got NBA playoffs. We got the end of your NBA basketball season. Like it's all coming together. Now's a great time to get in. All right. Well, Kamla and I will be back here on Thursday. Hopefully my voice will be here with me because it's been shaky all year. Ken, that's it, man. Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you, brother. Good luck on Friday.
Looks like April 2nd will be our grand finale together this season.
Fantastic. Thanks,
I'll see you then. All right. Never gets old.